Hey guys, welcome to The Sports Entertainer. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you never miss out on any of our videos. Our first wrestling news story of the day is the Hardy Boyz set to return to WWE. Now there's no doubt that wrestling fans have been waiting for the day the Hardy Boyz would be making their long-awaited return to WWE because of the partnership that the company currently has with TNA Wrestling, the promotion the Hardy Boyz are signed to. And after all the Forbidden Door surprise appearances over the past couple of months, it was made official during last night's episode of NXT that Matt and Jeff Hardy will be returning on next week's episode of WWE NXT to face off against No Quarter Catch Crew, who had challenged the Hardy Boyz to a match in which both Hardys accepted last night. Triple H would react to this major news on Twitter last night by saying, quote, "Two men who have redefined tag team wrestling for over 25 years. The Hardy Boyz have reached the pinnacle of our industry, and often jumped off of it, to the amazement of fans worldwide, and they return to a WWE ring next week on WWE NXT in Cincinnati. This is truly amazing news that the Hardy Boyz are going to be returning next week on NXT to take on Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne of No Quarter Catch Crew, as this has been a long time coming, and it's great to see that Jeff Hardy has gotten on better terms with WWE after the way his last run in the company ended in such a dismal way due to Jeff's behavior outside of the ring that got him in trouble with the law. One of our sources has mentioned that the reaction to Matt and Jeff Hardy's return being announced for NXT next week has honestly surprised some within WWE, as the outpour of support and excitement is exceeding what was initially expected. And the sentiment is that the Hardy Boyz will be making more than one appearance in NXT because of the insane fan reception to this announcement of their returns going so viral. Let us know your thoughts on the Hardy Boyz returning to WWE next week on NXT to work a match because of the partnership between WWE and TNA Wrestling. And what we'll say is that if new backstage rumors prove to be true, Triple H is clearly just getting started when it comes to having some big names from other companies return for special appearances, and Hunter is now looking at potentially working with AEW next, which leads us into our next story. Dean Ambrose returning to WWE. Now, it wasn't that long ago that wrestling fans would have never in a million years expected for WWE to forge a partnership with one of their rival companies in TNA Wrestling, with WWE and TNA Wrestling stars now appearing on each other's shows in 2025 due to the partnership that was just recently made official between the two promotions. And according to a breaking new backstage report, Triple H is now looking to forge a similar kind of partnership with Tony Khan and AEW All Elite Wrestling. And the reason for that is because of the fact that Triple H has felt the alliance between WWE and TNA has been amazing for the industry and has added a new level of excitement to both companies, as you never know which star will appear on either brand, as that forbidden door has been kicked wide open. Unlike Vince McMahon, who viewed all other wrestling companies, big or small, as competition for WWE, Triple H reportedly has a different mindset and feels that WWE has already established itself as the top juggernaut in professional wrestling and doesn't need to view any other company as competition, and that working with other promotions is better for the wrestling landscape, better for the talent, and no doubt better for fans as we get to witness many special returns and unexpected moments. And one of our sources has reported that Triple H is now in the process of working out a similar agreement with AEW, and one of the superstars Triple H is most excited about making a surprise return to WWE once this deal with AEW is worked out is none other than Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley. We have been told that while Tony Khan was against this idea of working with WWE for the longest time, with the ratings for AEW continuing to sink, while Tony observes WWE and TNA Wrestling flourishing due to their huge partnership, Tony is now getting out of the mindset of trying to make AEW compete with WWE and would instead rather work with WWE as well as TNA and leave the competition behind for the betterment of the company. Triple H is more than open to working with AEW, and if this deal gets made at some point in 2025, Triple H would apparently plan for Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley to make a huge Forbidden Door return to WWE later on this year, and have a Shield reunion segment with Roman Reigns, as well as Seth Rollins, with this huge segment most likely occurring on an episode of SmackDown in the late spring or early summer. Now, from what we've heard, Dean Ambrose's WWE return as part of the new partnership between WWE and AEW would not be a long-term thing, as Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley, remains loyal to AEW even during this low or dark times, and doesn't have any interest of leaving the company for a full-time WWE return with the sentiment being that Ambrose would just be happy to make a special appearance every once in a while to reconnect with the WWE fan base and reunite with some of his old friends behind the scenes, but that he wishes to continue wrestling in All Elite Wrestling on a full-time basis, which does make sense as Tony Khan has invested a lot of money and time into Moxley, and he's basically the biggest star they have over there and is the current AEW World Champion. A backstage rumor has suggested Triple H is only interested in Dean Ambrose for a few special appearances, so he doesn't have a problem with the fact that Ambrose wishes to stay in AEW long term. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu confirmed for WrestleMania 41. Now there's another massive match that has been confirmed for the Showcase of the Immortals this year, as one of our sources has reported that Triple H has finalized the plan for Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa heading into WrestleMania, with it being reported that the WWE are in fact planning for Solo to face off against Jacob on the grandest stage this year, and last week's episode of SmackDown officially kickstarted this rivalry between the two former Bloodline members, as Solo essentially cost Jacob Fatu his opportunity to advance to Elimination Chamber. Now this is honestly amazing news, as Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa has potential to be an absolute banger of a match. And let us know your thoughts on the WWE finalizing the plans of Solo versus Jacob for WrestleMania this year down in the comments section below. AJ Styles signs a new deal with WWE. Now there's been a lot of speculation over the past few weeks regarding AJ Styles' status with WWE following his return at the 2025 Royal Rumble, as there has been concern that AJ Styles could be leaving WWE soon due to the fact that his contract with the company was set to expire sometime in early 2025. However, one of our sources has provided some huge news regarding AJ Styles' contract situation with WWE, as well as the plans the company have for Styles moving forward. We have been told that AJ Styles had signed a new 5-year contract with WWE prior to his Royal Rumble return earlier this month, with it being reported that Triple H offered AJ Styles a very lucrative contract to stay put in WWE and not leave for another company, with Hunter giving Styles his old theme song back, as well as making promises to AJ that he would be getting a big push very soon. A new backstage rumor has revealed that for the short term, the plan is for AJ Styles to dethrone Braun Breaker of the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 41 and build some momentum back with an Intercontinental title run for a few months after WrestleMania, before ultimately moving up the card into the World Heavyweight title scene on Raw by SummerSlam, as the WWE wants Styles to work his way back into being a fixture in the main event title scene. So AJ won't be going anywhere anytime soon, as he signed a new 5-year deal with the WWE, and Styles will reportedly be featured very heavily on TV moving forward, and will at the very least be having a run with that Intercontinental Championship soon.